Hi guys, this is George here from George's Exotics, and today I'm going to be showing you some products that are must-haves for anyone who keeps any sort of exotic pets, from reptiles to invertebrates, from amphibians to fish. This video is for you. So first off, and arguably the most important part to keeping an animal, is their diet. Here we have a tub of moria worms. These are a type of live food that are common feeders for things like tarantulas and scorpions, but there are many other varieties of live food out there, such as silkworms, waxworms, crickets, locusts, fruit flies. The list is endless of the variety of live food that we have available for our pets. Other foods, for example, if your animal is a Mediterranean tortoise that eats primarily greens, leafy greens, weeds, things like that, very important. Your animal's diet is imperative to their general health and overall well-being, so ensure to pick the correct diet for your pet. So following on from diet, next thing on the list is a way to deliver that food to your animal. First option is something like a food bowl. Also, a water dish is quite important for many animal species. So with a food bowl, these are good for things like tortoises, where you can contain their food to an area, sometimes dust with calcium powder for example, and also reduces the risk of impaction. Another option is tweezers or tongs. So these are large metal tongs. You can also get smaller plastic versions, or they're also doing bamboo versions now. Anyone's fine as long as they suit you and your animal. So these are very, very important if you are feeding an insectivorous species, for example tarantulas or an insectivorous gecko. These are great for that. Also, these are great for helping rehousing your tarantulas and spiderlings. Another must-have item for people who are feeding live feeder insects to their animals is some sort of container. So it's easy to shake the animals into this container, for example crickets, and you can easily dust them with any dietary supplements required. This is just a repurposed, pre-prepared tortoise diet tub, but anything of the sort works, whatever's best for you. Another must-have for any exotic pet keeper are nutritional dietary supplements. For example, we have calcium, very important to have that with vitamin D3 for species like tortoises. Also, this can be provided with things like a cuttlefish bone alongside that supplementation with the main diet. This is especially beneficial to things like giant African land snails, cockroaches and millipedes, as they tend to make more use of this, along with many species of birds. However, it should be offered to all species which require calcium. Another emergency supplement is critical care formula. This is great if you have an unwell pet. It is often given out by vets if you have a particularly unwell reptile to give them a bit of a boost. Another brand similar to this is Boost. It's been well known in the hobby for years that providing your animals with chlorinated water is not the way to go. It's not healthy for them and can be toxic to them, especially if they are fish or amphibians. So another must-have is a tap water conditioner. Ensure that your tap water conditioner does remove chlorine. That is the most important aspect of any tap water conditioner to make it safe for your pet. So in order for reptiles to metabolize and digest their food, most require a heat source. This can be an above heat source like a basking lamp, or something like this, and a heat mat, which can be placed on the side or underneath of the enclosure. This varies between species, so ensure to check which your species prefers before purchasing. General enclosure maintenance can seem like a bit of a chore, but it's much easier with something like a poop scoop, which is easy with fine substrates where if the animal has a larger stool, you can sift through it and then just be left with the poo in the poop scoop. We're not sponsored by these, but I highly recommend them for your larger reptiles like your monitors, your tegus and your tortoises. So the final section of this video will be covering health-related issues. So in case of an emergency, it's really important to have an emergency contact with your local emergency, preferably exotic veterinary surgeon. Exotic is key because general practitioner vets don't have the expertise necessary to provide the advanced care that some reptiles require. So it's important to have a sort of emergency kit along with those emergency contacts. So a good thing to own is Tamidine. So this is a veterinary grade wound cleaner. This is great if your pet has a superficial wound generally good for snakes, lizards, and tortoises. So mainly for reptiles, this one. However, another great product is cornstarch. So I always have a bag of cornstarch at my house in case of an emergency. For example, this is great at stemming bleeding. Great for if you have an injured tarantula, for example, a traumatic leg amputation, great for stemming the bleeding, or if they get some sort of laceration or wound to their abdomen and it's bleeding, cornstarch generally stops the bleeding, so you have enough time to reach your vet. So it's also important to maintain health records for your pets. A great way to do this is by purchasing a scales. Doesn't necessarily have to be a reptile scales like this one. Kitchen scales will do fine as long as you have something to place on top to be able to weigh your animal. It's great to keep records of your animal for your own records and for general curiosity, but it's also good to track any health conditions. For example, in tortoises, if they have a parasitic infection, they generally tend to lose weight. Or it could be a symptom of something worse going on. It's just great to monitor weight, and then you can use that as a symptom when visiting your vet to see if they have any concerns about that, and they can conduct the necessary tests to get a diagnosis. Next on our list, we have, which is also still health related, we have a tub. You may be wondering what this is for. I use this to bath my Horsfield's tortoise. It can be also used to bath things like bearded dragons, iguanas and such. Any animal that requires hydration, this is great for. You can also mix water with Reptiboost or Critical Care if your veterinary surgeon advises you to do so and it's necessary to give your pet a bit of a boost when they are unwell. And finally, we have some sort of hide. This is so important. As a general rule, if you have a communal setup, it's one hide per animal. However, if it's just one animal, it's great to provide two hides anyway, at least one at the cooler end and one at the hotter end of your enclosure. It also greatly reduces stress as they have somewhere to retreat to and somewhere to hide if they are feeling threatened or stressed in any way. So here's a little bonus one for anyone who owns tarantulas, specifically younger juveniles or spiderlings. Very important, these are just simple deli cups, or also known in the hobby as catch cups. So if you lose a spiderling, it's much easier to catch them with a catch cup than with anything else without harming the spider. That's obviously the main concern when a pet escapes, is the harm caused to them. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if there's anything I missed in the comment section down below. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you did enjoy this video and you'd like to see similar content. See you in the next one.